Hey everybody, it's Jay Cradeur with Trader Dojo, and welcome to this week, Sundays, August 23rd, the 321 Inside the Dojo newsletter, the video version. So what I'm going to do is just go through the newsletter and expound upon a few things, and let's just get right into it. Still drinking some coffee out of my Starbucks Reserve mug. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Let's see if this will work. Okay, yeah, how about that? Okay, let's see. Is it this one? Okay, hold on a second. Got it. Okay, I think this is going to work. Yes, okay. Nice image, okay. The 321 Inside the Dojo newsletter, the challenge of hesitation. This has been a big topic for me because I have been hesitating. This has been the biggest hurdle for me in day trading, and it's probably the biggest hurdle for most people because you have to rewire your whole system to become okay with losing, and the fear of losing makes you hesitate, and your hesitating makes you lose. So it's this kind of a vicious downward spiral, right? Okay, so let's break this down. Okay, so the way the newsletter is set up is there's 3 ideas from me, 2 quotes from other people, and then we take a deeper dive on the topic. Okay, so here's idea 1. Hesitation is the primary barrier to execution. Doubt often stems from overanalysis of potential failure, rather than focusing on your strategic objectives. Greatness requires a near-blind obsession, a crystalline focus, and a ruthless execution. I've been listening to a lot of founders. There's a guy on YouTube named David Senra, and he interviews all these founders. He just interviewed Travis Kalanick, who started Uber, right? The CEO for Uber in the early days. And it's fascinating how they talk about how you just got to be blindly obsessed, so focused, otherwise you're just not going to make it. And the same is true if you want to be in that elite group of traders who crush it, who make good money, generational wealth. Okay, idea 2. The clearer your long-term objectives, the less power hesitation has over you. Hesitation thrives on small picture thinking. So if you're thinking about one trade as its own thing, then it's more like life and death. But if you lock onto your career length track record, the single setup shrinks back to its actual size. So I don't talk about my long-term goals. That's between me and me. But you better believe I got a plan for every year between now and the time I turn 90. Very specific goals, big goals. And when I think about that, each trade just becomes a trade. It's just one little piece, one little brick in the building that I'm creating. And I invite you to start thinking, what is your real long-term goal? Because that will help you to overcome hesitation. And number 3, every repetition. Okay, it's like taking an at bat, right? Every at bat makes the next one easier, and every loss makes the next loss smaller. You would think that you take a loss and that's a bad thing, but it's not great. But you take a loss and it's like, oh, I mean, when I used to take a loss, it was crushing. My hands would shake and I was so angry, and it's like, why didn't the market do what I wanted it to do? Well, hesitation fades with exposure. The nervous system learns that loss isn't fatal. And like this month, I've had more losses than I've had in all year. No big wins. And it's like, well, it's just the numbers. As the pain of losing shrinks, your willingness to execute the next valid setup grows. Okay? Ruthless execution. Ruthless execution. Okay. Okay, now we get into 2 quotes. You rush to decisions because living with doubt is painful. If you can tolerate doubt, you are likely to make better decisions. Our doubts are traitors, as Shakespeare said. Our doubts are traitors, and they cause us to not win because we hesitate to even attempt. That is Charlie Munger, the great Charlie Munger. I'm going to try and have a Charlie Munger on each one of these because he said some great shit throughout the years. Anyway, you rush to decisions because living with doubt is painful. If you can tolerate doubt, you're likely to make better decisions. And when I hear that, I think of, you place a trade, you execute, it triggers, and then you just got to sit on your hands. You just got to wait and see what happens, right? Most people don't like that, right? Doubt is painful. So you learn how to tolerate doubt. And when you see it in the bigger picture, like I said before, your big goals, your big objectives, the big reason you're doing all this, the more likely you are to make better decisions. That's the great Charlie Munger. Second one, Tom Hugard, my number one trading coach through books. What separates the 10% of winners from the 90% of losers is which brain they are listening to. Which brain are you listening to? Are you listening to the small, focused on just the trade, or the big, right? Where you can just respond to it. You're not reacting to it. You're like, okay, that was a loss, and that's one in a many, and it's still moving me forward on my path. If you're wondering who Tom Hugard is, Best Loser Wins is his book, and I highly recommend it. The Best Loser Wins. Okay, the deeper dive. The deeper dive. Hesitation is quiet and it's expensive. Oh my God. It really shows up as a dramatic fear. Just one more check of the chart. Let me make sure. I can speak to that. You see something happen and it's your setup, but then you think, this is me. Then I think, let me just, one more candle. Let me just see it move a little bit more. And that little bit more, you lost it, right? You lost it because there are lots of people who are doing the same thing. You want to get in right when it says to get in. That's the hesitation that costs you money because you missed the move. By the time you act, if you act at all the edges, the edge you already validated is usually gone. Doubt gets resolved one of two ways: a rushed decision or a refused one. Three things shrink hesitation. None of them require feeling less afraid. So getting clear on your long-term objective, right? We've talked about that. So one trade stops carrying the weight of, am I a good trader, right? Or am I going to make money today? Simple repetition. Every at-bat makes the next one feel less foreign, right? You see the execution, you take it. And you just keep doing that over and over and over and over again. And it may take years, but you slowly begin to become comfortable. And it's very counterintuitive. We're not raised to be cool with losses. So you got to learn. You got to teach your system. And the only way you're going to do it is by taking those at-bats. Let's see, where am I? Those at-bats, yeah. Losses that hurt a little less each time, proving the account, and you survive, right? And if you're following my system, we only lose 2% on any given trade. So you're not in any risk of blowing up your account as long as you follow the rules. Okay, which brain are you listening to? This goes to the quote from Coach Tom Hugard. The reactive brain still speaks up before every trade. That doesn't go away. So they say leaders, it's not that their fear goes away. It's just that you learn to hear the fear and you take action despite that, okay? Winners aren't the ones who silence it. They're the ones who execute anyway. Ruthless execution isn't the absence of doubt. It's acting while it's still there. So that's the coolest thing, I think, about being a day trader. Okay, let me go back to full screen here. About being a day trader is it kind of combines personal growth with a massive opportunity to make money. And of course, it's a great side hustle because like this month, I'm at break even after 3 weeks. But what's my out-of-pocket expense? I have a computer. I pay for the internet. I don't pay for trades. I pay very small for commissions. I have some charting software. Just a few fixed expenses, but pretty small. It's not like I'm out of money because I haven't made money. And I've still got one more week in the month. So But the point was that with day trading, it forces you to learn about yourself and learn about how you respond to difficult situations, which can then go and impact in all areas of your life. Believe me, if you get into this more and more and more, you're going to find dealing with a relationship, dealing with, the repair person, dealing with a broken air conditioning system, whatever it is, gets much, much easier. The volume gets turned down quite a bit. So that's one of the beautiful things I'm really loving about this Day Trader Dojo and this whole day trading experience. Plus, it forces you to keep learning too, because it's a never-ending series of challenges and things that you're going to learn, and everything can go a little bit deeper. Just kind of like being a human being, right? We're never really finished. We just keep going, taking on the challenge that comes ahead of us, and keep moving forward. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week with the weekly video version of the 321 Inside the Dojo newsletter. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It's just down below, daytraderdojo.com. Let me see, do I have that? Yeah. To my Discord, where I do a daily chart review. I do a daily pre-market briefing. You're going to see my end of the week video where I show you what happened for the week, and I also do one live trading video. So all of that comes for free. So you could actually learn a lot about day trading without spending any money that way. So check it out. Go sign up. All it takes is an email, no credit card, nothing like that. All right, enough of that. Take care. Have a great week. See you next week. Bye-bye.